Okay, in this video, we are looking to solve an equation for a certain variable. So here I'm looking for R2. R2 is on the bottom, that's a bad spot. So I need to get that to the top. The only way to do it, I can't just flip it over. I need to multiply by a lowest common denominator. There could be other ways, like bringing this to this side and subtracting, and then do cross multiply divide, but the easiest way to do this would be to find a common denominator and use the I hate fraction rule. So I've got 1 over r equals 1 over r1 plus 1 over r2. So the lowest common denominator would be big R, r1, r2. So I'm going to multiply every term by that. r1, r2, this one by r, r1, r2, and this one by r, r1, r2. So canceling, the r's go here, left with r1, r2, equals the r1's go, so I'm left with r, r2, plus r2 cancels, so I'm left with r, r1. Now they want me to solve for r2. I guess that my problem here is that I have two of them. There's one here and one here. If there's two variables, two of the same variable that you want to solve for, you need to get those terms together. So I'm going to subtract r2 on this side and do the same thing on this side. So I'll have r1, r2 minus r2 is equal to r1, because those cancel. And now here I've got both my r2's together, so now I can factor the r2 out, leaving me with r1 minus r is equal to r1. And then finally, to solve for r2, I'll divide both sides by r1 minus r, r1 minus r. So here they cancel, and I'm left with r2 is equal to r1 all over r1 minus r. And lots of these questions are done the same way. So you have to get a lowest common denominator, multiply to get rid of the common denominator, look for the unknown that you're wanting to get. If there's two of them, get both terms on the same side, and then factor. Okay, here's another one. So here I want to solve for r. And it looks like there's just one r here so far. I have a fraction, and this one would have a denominator of 1. And all of this stuff here is all one big term. And so it all is, you could say it's all over 3. So my lowest common denominator is going to be 3. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3 and multiply this side by 3. On the left, just left with 3v is equal to, and on the right, this 3 cancels this 3, so all I'm left with is pi h squared times 3r minus h. Feeling pretty good here. At this point, you could do two things. You could multiply this through using the distributive property, or you could divide by the pi h squared now, and then use a couple other tools later. I sort of prefer to get rid of the brackets, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to multiply pi h squared times 3r, and then minus pi h squared times h. That would be, instead of pi h squared, it would be pi h cubed. Is that right? Yeah, because I multiply this by both things. Okay, is equal to 3v. I'm wanting to solve for r, so first thing I'll do is get rid of this term here. So 3v minus pi h cubed is equal to pi h squared times 3r. Okay, I'm wanting to solve for r here, and since all of this is being multiplied, I'm going to divide by everything except for the r. So it'll be divided by pi h squared times 3, and then divide this side by pi h squared times 3. I probably should have put the 3 out front. So here these cancel, and then I have r is equal to 3v minus pi h cubed all over 3 pi h squared. And at that point there, I'm saying, great job. You could simplify it a little bit. Like you could, since I have two terms on the top, and I'm dividing them by a monomial, I could rewrite this as 3v over 3 pi h squared minus pi h cubed over 3 pi h squared is equal to r. So I just split those two terms up. And then on the first term, the 3's cancel, leaving me with v over pi h squared. And on the next one, pi's cancel. And then I've got 3 h's on top and 2 on the bottom. So I'd be left with 1 h on the top, and I'd just be left with a 3 on the bottom is equal to r. So this could be an answer, or this could be an answer. This might be simplified a little bit more, but there's two terms here. This one, there's only one term because it's all under one denominator. So it's really one term. So it's, I guess, a preference thing. You could leave it like that, 100%. If you change it to that, 100% too. All right, hopefully that helps with those two questions.